Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something really interesting, the psychology of people who just instinctively prefer depth over popularity. You know, the ones who don't always follow the crowd.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a question that I bet will feel pretty familiar to some of you. Have you ever been in a room where everyone is just buzzing about the latest show, or a new gadget, or some fashion trend, and you just feel nothing, like completely indifferent?
Well, if you're nodding your head right now, listen up. It turns out you're not just being a contrarian or trying to be different. This tendency to resist trends is actually a sign of a pretty unique and kind of rare psychological makeup. It's less about rebellion and way more about how your mind is fundamentally wired.
All right, so what's really at the heart of this mindset? Well, it all starts with a fundamental choice, valuing truth way more than applause.
You see, for these folks, their internal world just matters more. It's not about getting more followers or racking up likes. It's about this deep-seated need for authenticity, for making sure your actions line up with what you feel is real and substantial.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It's not some loud announcement. It's a quiet, consistent choice you make, day in and day out. It's like a signature of personal integrity, and it shows a real commitment to your own values over all the noise from the crowd. So what's actually happening in the brain here? What's the psychological mechanism behind this way of thinking? Well, it all comes down to having a really well-developed internal compass.
So the first big piece of this puzzle is something psychologists call a stable sense of identity. And really, all that means is you have this solid, consistent understanding of who you are, your tastes, your values, your beliefs, and it isn't easily swayed by what's going on around you.
To put it another way, your sense of self-worth is like an anchor, not a weather vane. It doesn't just shift and spin around with the changing winds of public opinion. You know who you are, whether the world is cheering for you or not.
Now let's flip the coin and look at the opposing force, the very thing that actually drives trend following. It's called normative social influence. This is that powerful, often subconscious pressure we all feel to just conform, to do what the group is doing so we can be liked and accepted. It's basically the engine of popularity.
And this is where it all comes together. When you put these two side by side, the difference is crystal clear. On one side, you've got the crowd, driven by that need for external validation, which honestly can make your sense of self pretty shaky. But on the other side, you've got the compass, guided by internal validation, which keeps your sense of self consistent and pointed in your own direction. So this isn't just some personal preference. When you really add it all up, this quality is a genuine psychological strength. At the end of the day, these tendencies aren't weaknesses at all. They're signs of a really well-developed personality. I mean, think about the ingredients here. A stable sense of self, relying on your own validation, having high integrity, and that super important internal compass. Put all that together and you have a serious toolkit for navigating a complicated world with real confidence. And you know, maybe this is the most important takeaway from all this. Being trend-resistant isn't about choosing to be an outsider. It's really about having the confidence to be your own guide in a world that is just full of noise and distractions. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In a world of constant change and trends that come and go in a flash, just take a second to ask yourself, what is my compass pointing to? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.